Tonight on Newswatch, I'll give you the latest news on the Iowa State student government descent.
And I have a story on a razor developed by an ISU student.
And I'll tell you about the Iowa State men's big win against Oklahoma. Stay tuned, you're watching Newswatch.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch. I'm Jim Heinrichs.
And I'm Cassy Olson.
Thank you for joining us. The fate of Student Government's Director of Residency, Dosman Lee, remains unclear due to the cancellation of a student government meeting this past Saturday. According to an email from Speaker Cody Woodruff, the meeting over whether or not to remove Director Lee from his position in student government was canceled due partially to the weather. This comes after Lee's 11-minute-long Snapchat story wherein he criticized Speaker Woodruff and the entirety of the organization. The 6 chief officers of student government will meet with the student government advisor to discuss a course of action.
An Iowa State engineer has produced a model that helps researchers find out how pregnant women's babies are affected by their caffeine intake. Nicole Hashemi is an associate professor of mechanical engineering and led the Placenta on a Chip project. Her team created a model of the human placenta, the temporary organ that develops during pregnancy and provides oxygen and nutrients to the baby and removes waste from its bloodstream. So far, the model tests have shown that some caffeine does enter the baby's bloodstream. The technology is also being used to show how different drugs and toxins move through the placental barrier.
Mary Beth and John Tinker visited Iowa State last night to discuss their battle for their First Amendment rights. The siblings were part of a landmark Supreme Court case in which students were granted greater protection to freely speak in their schools. The two discussed how their main goal was to protest the Vietnam War and push for a truce between the two sides by wearing black armbands to school. 50 years after their win against the Des Moines Independent Community School District, they remind students that today's youth can be huge agents for change in society.
A razor designed by an Iowa State student is one step closer to being in production this week. Stephen Abramsky, a senior who was involved with SciStarters last summer, engineered a new type of razor for women. The Lotus razor trims with 360-degree circular blades. Abramsky says the razor was born out of a class project that required students to improve a product they use daily. He chose his beard trimmer and was told by his female friends and his mom that he should design a razor for women. Abramsky says he and the staff at Iowa State's Papa John Center for Entrepreneurship are working on ways to bring the Lotus razor to the market.
A club here at Iowa State is working on ways to fight an epidemic that often goes unnoticed. I was able to head over to LeBaron Hall to get the scoop. Iowa State University is celebrating body positivity this week through the Body Image and Eating Disorder Awareness Club, also known as BEDA. Each day of the week from February 25th to March 1st, an event will be held to raise awareness about health issues that affect many college students across the nation.
I think it's important for students because there's so many college students that do have eating disorders or even just negative body image issues. So I think it's important to talk about that because I feel like a lot of times it isn't talked about. And in order to stop it from happening, people need to be aware that it is happening. So.
On Monday, BEDA hosted their first event of the week, Honor Your Hunger. Club members stood inside LeBaron Hall from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and students were able to stop by, grab a snack, and learn more about the club and what they represent. The events for the rest of the week include a screening of the film Fatitude on Tuesday, a presentation by writer Sarah Thompson on Wednesday, a cardio dance class on Thursday, and an event called Love Your Selfie on Friday.
I knew they were going to be here on Friday, but I didn't know they'd be here all throughout the week. But I think it's kind of just nice and refreshing to come in here, grab some snacks, learn more about the organization, just as kind of a little positivity and a boost for your day.
Reporting for ISUtv with Sarah Peterson, I'm Jim Heinrichs. For more information about Beta Week, check out Iowa State's Student Organization Event Authorization website. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more news after these messages.
Welcome back to Newswatch. President Trump arrived in Hanoi, Vietnam today to discuss denuclearization of North Korea with their leader, Kim Jong-un. The president is facing criticism for being too lax on his pre-discussion rhetoric, with some news outlets saying this is a critical moment for him to retreat. This past weekend, Trump said that he didn't want anyone to be rushed and that as long as there is no testing, he's happy. North Korea reportedly has as many as 30 nuclear weapons as well as missiles that can reach the United States.
Michael Cohen is expected to reveal to a House committee what he calls evidence of President Donald Trump's lying, racist remarks, cheating, and possibly criminal conduct. Cohen arrived at the Capitol Hill today for a closed-door interview with the Senate Intelligence Committee. He won't publicly appear until tomorrow, where he will testify before the House Oversight and Reform Committee. Cohen is believed to provide this evidence in the form of documents to the House committee. Cohen will then speak behind closed doors again on Thursday to the House Intelligence Committee.
Nike's new advertisement has over 6 million views on YouTube after airing during the Oscars Sunday night. Dream Crazier is narrated by tennis star Serena Williams and features female athletes from different sports. The ad is a montage of the world's greatest female athletes breaking barriers in their sport. Williams speaks about women who express their emotions, passion, and opinions being called dramatic, delusional, hysterical, or crazy. It ends with Williams telling viewers, "Show them what crazy can do."
The United Methodist Church voted to strengthen the faith's ban on same-sex marriage and ordination today. Delegates voted for a conservative proposal known as the Traditional Plan, which rejected recognizing gay marriage and having LGBT members ordained into the church. The Associated Press reported that the Traditional Plan's success was due to, quote, an alliance of conservatives from the U.S. and overseas, end quote. Over 40% of the delegates are from Africa and overwhelmingly support the LGBT bans. Many members of the church are renouncing the Traditional Plan, and some churches are embracing gay-friendly practices as an act of defiance. We'll be right back with Holly Slesselman and your weekly weather forecast. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Newswatch.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Newswatch. My name is Holly Slesselman here with your weather report. So here's a little bit of what today looked like. Pretty plain, pretty nothing going on, but unfortunately that is probably going to change. So even though this week we will experience another sunny day, however freezing rain is possible, and then cold and rainy, and then a snowy, blustery Sunday, much like we saw last weekend. Here's our satellite and radar from today. As we can see, it was pretty cloudy all day, kind of mellowed out towards 8 o'clock. And then here's our temperatures for right now. So in Ames, it's a whopping 14 degrees. In Des Moines, 17. Creston, 18. Council Bluffs, 14. And then way over here, Burlington, we have 30 degrees. And then 23 in Davenport, 14 in Dubuque. And then my favorite city, Cedar Rapids, 17 degrees. Let's see what wind speeds are at right now. Over here in Cedar Rapids, it's a little higher with this blue area, and then a 13 miles per hour. Here in Ames, we have 9 miles per hour, Des Moines 7, and Creston 9. Let's take a look at the futurecast for tomorrow. So as you can see, as it zipped right on by, more fog, more snow, a little bit of everything. Let's see what we got for Thursday. Again, more of just the same. And as we keep on scanning through to Friday, more clouds, more uck. Let's keep going. Friday, here's when it gets real bad. More snow up mostly in northern Iowa. So hopefully here in Ames we'll be a little luckier this time than last weekend. And then finally Saturday, more snow. And then more on Sunday. Futurecast highs in northeast Iowa, we have in Independence 17 degrees. Dubuque, a little bit luckier over here with 19 degrees. And then in southeast Iowa, Iowa City 22, Muscatine is 25, Davenport 25, whole lot of upper 20s. And then over here, southwest Iowa, excuse me. 12 degrees right here at home in Ames, 14 in Des Moines, 14 in Winterset. And yeah, Council Bluffs, a little 11 degrees. Northwest Iowa, 8 degrees in the upper corner, and then 10 degrees in Webster City. Let's take a look at the estimated snowfall, which we have all come to love over the last couple of weeks. Ames, 1.2, not too much, not too shabby. Northern Iowa, gonna get a little bit more than what we will. And then here's some more. Right now, we are forecasted to get about 3 to 4 inches here in Des Moines and Ames area. Fort Dodge gonna get 6 to 8 inches. No one's looking forward to that. Here's what we have for tonight, 8 degrees, mostly calm. Hopefully we can all drive home a little safely. And then for tomorrow, we see the sun a little bit, partly cloudy, 31 degrees with winds from the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then let's take a look at our extended forecast. Tomorrow, high is 12, -1 is our low. We'll be warming up a little bit more towards Friday with 26 degrees with 60% chance of precipitation. And then this weekend, gonna get cold again. -16 degrees is the low on Sunday, and then maybe getting a little warmer by Monday and Tuesday, but not so much, with the high being 10 degrees next week. And that's all we have for your weather report. We'll be right back with Ben Olson and your sports.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Ben Olson. The Iowa State men's basketball team snapped their 2-game losing streak last night, defeating Oklahoma 78-61. The Cyclones secured the victory with a strong second half in which they made 8 of 14 three-pointers. Mariel Shayok led the Cyclones with 21 points, while Talon Horton-Tucker followed closely behind with 18 of his own. Iowa State has now won 20 games in 7 of their last 8 years. Next up, the Iowa State team battles the Texas Longhorns on Saturday in Austin. Tip-off is at 1 p.m., and the game will be televised on ESPN2. The Iowa State women's basketball team was in action tonight in Lubbock against the Texas Tech Lady Raiders. The 20th-ranked Cyclones secured a season sweep of Texas Tech by winning 64-62 in dramatic fashion. Iowa State scored the final 8 points of the contest, and Bridget Carlton scored all 27 of her points in the second half, including the game-winning layup with 3 seconds remaining. This victory is number 500 in Bill Fennelly's career. Iowa State improves to 21-7 on the season and 11-5 in conference play. Next up, the women will also travel to Austin this Saturday for a huge game against the Texas Longhorns. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. and the game will be televised on Longhorn Network. Former Cyclone All-Americans David Montgomery and Hakeem Butler will be participating in the NFL Draft Combine this week. The NFL Combine will be held today through March 4th in Indianapolis. Montgomery, a running back, will perform on Friday, March 1st, while Butler will perform on Saturday, March 2nd with the wide receivers. Both Montgomery and Butler are currently predicted to be drafted in the mid to early rounds of the NFL Draft. Cyclone Nation is wishing both athletes the best. Further news in the NFL Competition Committee has been deliberating in Indianapolis for the past 2 days. The committee has been discussing possible replay expansion across the league after a blatantly missed call in last month's NFC Championship game. However, New York Giants co-owner and committee member John Mara says he's, quote, not sensing a lot of support for making changes, unquote. Finally, in an odd sequence of events, the several Portland Trail Blazers players of the NBA became trapped in an elevator for 30 minutes. The Trailblazers were practicing today at Emerson College when 8 members of the team, including All-Star Damian Lillard, became trapped inside an elevator at the facility. A crew was able to fix the elevator enough for the team to be rescued, and all members of the team are expected to play tomorrow night against the Boston Celtics. That's all I have for sports. We'll be right back with more Newswatch.
The world's largest bee, thought to be extinct, was sighted in Indonesia. A small team took a 5-day trip through the islands to find the bee, which was living in a termite nest on the side of a tree. The bee is said to have a tongue that's nearly an inch long. Nature photographer Clay Bolt says it was breathtaking to see the flying bulldog of an insect.
A big weekend snowstorm with blizzard-like conditions caused traffic hazards and shut down most of northern Iowa. This photo showing bad road conditions on Interstate 35 led to an estimated 100 cars in the ditch between 9 p.m. Saturday and 11:30 a.m. Sunday between Des Moines and Ames, Iowa. The storm forced Iowa DOT to shut down Interstate 35 in both directions at the Ames exit early Sunday morning. Many other highways and roads throughout northern Iowa were officially shut down by state and local government. Interstate 35 is now reopened in both directions.
Did you guys go out at all Sunday or Monday?
I
No.
hunkered down and stayed inside.
Yeah, I did the same, and after seeing that bee, I might just stay inside for quite a while.
It was pretty large.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have for this edition of Newswatch.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at ISUtv.
And as always, stay warm, stay safe, and stay classy, Ames.